So related to that, you talk so much about relationship and of course the most important being with yourself. I find that outside of my children and my partner, I don't really have what I would call close physical relationships, not even
But
with...
the reason for that is most people don't, because you feel guarded. In other words, you've trained these people to behave, but it's just way too much trouble to train all those other people to behave.
Right.
So most people have sort of put themselves in a trap because you can count on these people and these people and these people to give you a sort of smooth ride. Don't you think that's why it is?
But I feel like my partner and my children are exactly like what you said. They are following their guidance, they're doing their own thing, and I'm allowing that. It feels more to me like I feel comfortable. I feel more like myself when I'm not so intertwined with other people and what they're doing and what's going on with them.
It is easier. It is easier. But here's the thing. Step back from it a little bit and catch that glimpse that Esther keeps catching of a world where you and everyone else is unconditional in your alignment, not needing stuff from other people to be different than it is, just finding alignment so that you're mostly tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And then law of attraction just helping to weave you in and out of each other's lives for the enhancement of this moment and this moment and this moment. So it's like you could be saying the entire world are my friends, and law of attraction is matching us up. Sometimes just walking through an airport, you can have a really meaningful experience with someone and you never even learn their name.
That's the part I'm talking about, where I feel very connected to people, but I don't feel so connected that I'm in their lives all the time and we're talking on the phone all the time. Or
let's say it like you mean it. I feel very connected to a lot of people, but I don't feel dependent on them like I used to.
Exactly.
And that feels like something's a little off because I was counting my rightness or my goodness through my popularity, through the numbers. And we say most people are just defending their vulnerabilities through people.
So if I feel good when I am more to myself, and I still feel good if I go around people, I just don't need that, is that an okay place to be?
It's not only an okay place to be, it's the healthiest place to be that we can even imagine that anyone would get. You're tuned in, you're tapped in, you're in the receptive mode. And when you really are in the receptive mode, that means people can dovetail with you in meaningful ways. Esther could assign someone the responsibility of following her around and making sure that she doesn't do dumb things.
Yeah.
In other words, will you check up on my airline flights? I'll send everything to you. I did this really unbelievably dumb thing this time, and so now I need someone to or should Esther just assume that the universe has her back, and that as long as she's in the receptive mode, whatever she needs to know, whenever she needs to know it, she's going to know it. And what fun it is to see how clever the universe is in giving her what she wants as long as she's in the receptive mode. That's the way you really want it to be. And feel how free that is, how it leaves behind all that tension and trying so hard and needing to prove anything to anybody.
Right.
So the only question that we have for you about it is, are you having a satisfying life experience?
Absolutely.
Well, then there's your answer. In other words, I'm having a really good time dovetailing with a lot of others. Yeah. Esther, for a little while, began saying she was not, when she made this statement, where you are as you are making this statement. In other words, but it was part of her evolution in understanding this. But she began making a statement a few months ago. I'm becoming a vibrational snob. And what she meant by that was, I really like clarity more than confusion. So I'm sort of limiting the people I hang out with because they almost always bring confusion.
Exactly.
But she was giving the power to them rather than to her tuning.
Yeah.
So once you realize that nobody just shows up without an engraved invitation.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. You're RSVPing all over the place with each other. So she's no longer saying I'm a vibrational snob. What she's saying instead is, I want to be in the receptive mode. I'm tending to my vibration and I want to be aware. And then it's really fun to watch how clever the universe is in just dropping people into her life to give her a little piece of something that they have no clue why they're even giving that to her.
Right.
They don't know. They're just a messenger that's come to deliver a piece of something that's meaningful to her. And she just laughs about how pervasive it is, how steady it is, how perfect it is, how free it is, how satisfying it is, how worthy she feels, how tended to she feels, how perfect it is. You all will get along with each other so much better when you stop holding each other accountable for how you feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It is.
Thank you.
Really good.